Hey everybody, it's Blue here from Bluebears Games, and today's video will be the second and final part of the Magic Mail Monday video that I released this past Friday. Before I get to today's video, I want to first take a moment to ask for your help in supporting my channel. The easiest and cheapest ways to show your support are by liking my videos, subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet, sharing any of my content on your socials, and or by watching some of my many other videos that I've created over the years. Additionally, you can support the channel by purchasing Super Thanks, channel memberships, decks that you may have seen on the channel directly from me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page, and or visiting our sponsor, Arcane Fortress, by using the link that just popped up at the top of your screen and purchasing any of their amazing gaming supplies from them. By using that link specifically, you should receive a 5% discount store-wide. And finally, the last thing you can possibly do to help the channel out is through donations of extra cards that you may have just lying around. Even your bulkiest of bulk will help immensely, so if you'd like to donate to the channel, please message me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page or email me at bluebearsgames@gmail.com and we can discuss the logistics of how. Anything you can do to help support my small channel is greatly appreciated, and I thank you for it. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. If you watched part 1 of this two-part video, you know that I split it into two videos because of how large the last package was and how much longer this particular part would have made the entire video. I like to keep my videos as relatively short as possible, so here we are. This package came from a friend and fellow moderator of the Magic Beginners group on Facebook, and he sent it because he believes that what I do is good for the community as a whole and wanted to help. And boy, did he. There are a lot of cards to go through, so I'll be speeding up the parts that are less interesting and slowing it down for the parts that I thought were a little bit more interesting. So, let's just jump right into it and see what he sent.
And finally, we have the Big Mamma Jamma. This one came from a friend from the Beginners group on Facebook, and this was a 9-pound box of cards. What's in it? I have no clue, so we're going to find out together. Got some bubble wrap. Ooh, lots of bubble wrap. We can throw that aside. We'll use that for shipping later. Alright, so it looks like we got some starter decks. That's cool. There's going to be basic lands in there, plus a couple other things I don't have, a couple rares. And then some boxes. Some cool looking boxes that are colored. Who knows what's in these? Let's get the box out of the way. Alright, so we'll start off with what we do know. And that is these are, I think, 2024 welcome decks is what these are. And there are deck lists for these. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see what the deck lists are. But I'm going to probably just pull a couple out and not open them, but show you that that's what's in them. These are to help you learn how to play the game. I like getting these because I like getting the basic lands out of them. That's very helpful for me for building decks down the road. And I always need a bunch of basic lands, so these are really good for that. And it looks like it's two 30-card starter decks, or is it two 20-card starter decks? Anyway, I don't know specifically what the cards are, except for the basic lands, obviously, but they're just there to help you learn how to play the game. And they're actually not bad at doing that. It's actually a good way of learning how to do that. And it looks like I got a red one, a blue one, white, green. I assume this is black, but that doesn't have it. No, that's the black one. I don't know what this is. This is just a couple of cards. This is not one of the welcome decks. Let's take a look at what's in here. Let me zoom a little bit. Cool. I can use some of these. Alright. Just a couple rares, a couple vampires. Just random stuff, huh? Scourge colonies. I can actually use them if I want to make a squirrel deck. I mean, nothing too valuable, and I don't look for things that are valuable. I look for things that are usable. For instance, rabbit bites. Always usable. I can use them. Evolving Wilds. Definitely usable. And some basic lands, especially swamps and forests I could use because I make a lot of commander decks that are black and green. I've got, I think, like 6 of them that I make that people buy. So I can definitely use swamps and forests. Alright, let me get this knife closed up so it doesn't cut anybody. Get these out of the way and see what's in these. These are kind of cool. I've never seen these before. Oh, We got some singles here, peeps. Oh, this is going to take a little while to get through. You got a minute? Yeah? Good. We got some stuff here. Let's take a look. Ah, some stuff from, it looks like the Commander Legends Battle at Baldur's Gate stuff, which I definitely need. I did not get a lot of that. Oh yeah, that's good. Good stuff. It's a good card. Ooh, we have some. Alright, we'll put those down. We got some. What is that? This was the Unstable. I think this is my only cards I will have that have Unstable. It's interesting. That's pretty funny, actually. Gotta love that. Put them aside. And then, of course, these. I did, however, put aside some black cards because it looks like they're like color shifted, but I'm not sure. Got some. Ooh, more Baldur's Gate stuff. Wilson's a good one. Yeah, look at all that good stuff. These are all usable things. Huh. Savannah Lions. I am planning on making more Cat Commander decks. Savannah Lions will definitely go in them. I did have a Minotaur deck I had at one point in time. Vampire's always nice. Alright. I'll try to speed it up a little bit so that you don't have to just sit here and listen to me breathe while I go through cards. Owlbears, I use them for the bear deck I make. That's actually nice to have. Obviously, I'm going to have to go through this more finally after the video is done, and maybe I'll report back to you if there's anything specifically egregious as far as, it's not really a bulk find. But again, I'm not looking for non-bulk things. I'm looking for this kind of stuff. Again, not monetarily expensive, but usable. I mean, this is an example. Fire Diamond. Sure, it's a bad mana rock, but it's a mana rock that can be used in a mono red deck that could be useful. It's a 2 to cast rock. Sure, it comes into play tapped. This is a good one too. Lantern or Revealing. While it's a 3 to cast mana rock, it has great abilities on top of just being a mana rock. I like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for when I ask for your bulk stuff. This is just monetarily not expensive, but just nice usable stuff for like budget decks that I can put out there for people to watch the videos, see some of the stuff that I do, maybe purchase a deck or two so I can keep this channel going, little simple stuff like that. Acolyte of Bahamut's good. I actually have a deck. I have a dragon deck I have to make for somebody, and that's going to go in that. Ganix, again, I think that's the commander that they wanted. So that's helpful, really helpful stuff. Daring Piracy. So I make a pirate deck. That's a great card to go in it. Monetarily, not expensive. Usability on the higher end for a budget deck. Adventurous Impulse. It's a great way for green to put cards in their hand. Not draw cards, but put cards in their hand. Simple stuff like that. Fireballs are great for decks that use X spells. Like Ragadraga, which, I have given that to my son. Nobody purchased that deck, so I gave it to my son, and let me tell you, he says it's pretty fun. Things like Power Stone Fracture. It's not a great card, but in different decks, they're usable. I have a deck that I use the resilient. The resilient creatures that come back from the graveyard to your hand or into play. They're great sacrifice fodder for things like that. That's removal. All good stuff. I mean, everybody has their own theory on what a good card is. I think that some of the lesser used cards have some value. Cut Down actually is a good card. There's no question about that. There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm not even halfway done the first box. Saruman. I don't have a lot of Lord of the Rings cards. Too expensive for my taste. I can't go buy the packs. I need stuff like that because I want to make decks based on like the Lord of the Rings stuff, and I don't have any cards that. And I know that people have a bunch of bulk stuff sitting in their house just collecting dust. So I'm gonna go a little slower on the Lord of the Rings stuff just because I don't have it. I also don't have any foundations yet. I didn't buy any boxes. I just, times are tough right now, and supporting the channel is getting a little harder to do. So I really can use the bulk stuff just so I can make more decks so I can afford to keep the channel going. It does take a little bit to keep it going, so good stuff, all of it. Cool. I actually need dwarves because I'm going to put together a Magda deck that's budget. So that's nice to see. Okay, another example. Treasure Cruise. I mean, it's good because it's a Delve card, but it's not great. But I did just recently put it in Yuriko because it's a good fit for the Yuriko deck. Just a lot of good usable cards that are commons and uncommons that people just discard and throw in a box and put to the side, and they just sit there and collect dust where I can use them. Oh, there we go. Sanitarium Skeleton. That's what I was talking about earlier. The resilient creatures where you can get them back from your graveyard. That kind of stuff. I put a lot of decks with those in them together. So stuff like that's great. Burnished Hearts are great budget ways of doing ramp in colors that aren't green. I mean, it's 6 mana to do it all, but it's still better than not having any at all. Command towers. I don't have enough of these. I've had a complaint recently where I don't put command towers into all my decks. Try putting together 40, 50 decks, in a year and keeping up with that arcane signets as well. Command towers and arcane signets. It's not easy to keep up with that kind of volume. And not a lot of sellers out there have a whole bunch of them just sitting around that they A, can sell to you, or B, that will send them to you. So it's kind of hard. That's a good one. Nature's Lord is a good ramp spell. So anybody who complains that I don't put like staples that are budget, well, I mean, yeah, of course I don't, because I don't have a lot of them. I have to make my own decks too. If somebody buys something that's a little upgraded, sure, I'll use them because that's few and far between. But when they're buying a regular $40 budget deck, I can't do a command tower and an arcane signet in every one of those because last year alone I sold I think 60 of them, and I don't even have 60 of my own to spare. I don't have 10 technically. I open a lot of the commander precons, but a lot of those cards get used immediately. My son gets decks. My girlfriend gets decks. Ooh, a Heapgate. My stepson gets decks. There's a lot of people who require these quote-unquote cheap budget staples that eat into the amount that you can have left over to just use. And I don't want to take one deck here or there that has them and another deck doesn't, and it's like, well, why isn't it in this one? Well, I can't do that. So if there's a problem with that, I'm sure you have some extras. You can just throw them in. And I don't want to be that person that's complaining about other people complaining about what I do and what I don't do. I just say, walk a mile. If you think you can do it, try it. You'll find out real quickly, like I did. I thought I would just have enough of a specific common or uncommon just to get me through and do it willy-nilly no matter what. No, you don't. You end up not having what you think you would need. And that's why I've been asking for help and having people send me some stuff. So that's what these are all about. Ooh, an owlbear cub. That goes into Ayula as well. That's a nice little bear for that. These are some nice cards here. Baldur's Gate. I actually need that. I'm putting together a deck that is a landfall deck. It's replacing what was my 5-color landfall deck before because they banned Golos. So now that they banned Golos, I'm replacing that whole deck. I replaced 5-color deck with Urtet. I no longer am going to be able to do that, so I've decided that for my 5... I'm sorry, not my 5. I decided that for my landfall deck, instead of it being Golos, I'm going to use Omnath. With Omnath being the new choice, that also means it's going to be my Gates deck, because that's what my 5-color deck was my Gates deck. I like a Gates deck, it's actually kind of fun. So Omnath is going to do it, but you need different gates from different areas instead of just the guild gates. Ooh, we got some basics. So this is going to be a lot of basics, I hope. Again, I need basics. Basics are always needed when you're trying to build as many decks as I do. It gets a little hairy when it comes to your basics. I try to keep them the same set as well. So we've got some dual land stuff like Thriving. The Thriving lands are actually really good for budget decks. So I'm not mad at that either. Evolving Wilds, some campuses. So it's not all basics here. It looks like there's some other stuff like a Thriving Grove thrown in the middle here. Opal Palace. Some and is it Boilerworks? Okay. Haven't found a use yet in Commander for the artifact lands where it's worth monetarily to put in there, but I'll get there eventually. Ooh, some command towers. Maybe I might be able to get some of the budget decks to have, some command towers in them. Quite a bit of Thriving Lands, which is good. That's really good. Guild Gates, gotta use them too. We're almost done because a lot of this is going to be basics, so I'm just skipping through most of it until we get to non-basics. Look at that, a full art jumpstart mountain foil. Ooh, we had a bunch of non-basics here. What do we got here? Deceptive Landscape. So this is those... I mean, they can go get basic land of 3 types, put it on the battlefield tapped, or you can cycle it. I need these. These are... I didn't open any of the master sets recently. I haven't been able to open, so that stuff is good. Things like that. Little stuff like that, really helpful. I like these. I don't have a lot of these because I only got 1 box so far of Duskmorn, but these are nice. They're probably better in 60 card play than they are in Commander, but they do a job for you in Commander. A Hinterland Harbor. That's pretty cool looking. That is retro Hinterland Harbor. Wasn't expecting to see that in here. A Gemstone Mine. That's pretty good. Slippery Karst. I do like the lands that cycle away. Radiant Grove. Tangled Islet. I'd said a while ago that I wish that they would make the ones that come into play tapped have the land types, and they finally did it. I was expecting them to be bigger than they were. They weren't, unfortunately. Apparently, was that... Yeah. Dominaria United did it. So there's the black-blue one that does it. I was really expecting them to actually do a little bit more, but I guess coming to play tapped is really hard to overcome. We're almost done, folks. This is all I've got left, this little pile here, so I'll just get through it real quick. I got some basics, anything non-basic other than the fact that there's some of them are full art. A Rogue's Passage, that's always nice. Another Command Tower. And a Command Tower. Still not going to be enough to be able to do it, though. I wish I had like 100 extra Command Towers to be able to put into all my budget decks. It would be super helpful. And then I could, stop hearing. It was only one complaint. I say that, stop hearing complaints, but it was only one complaint that somebody said that I didn't put them in there. I take it personally, I try my best to do whatever I can to make these the best that I can and save money. Because one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when I sell one of these $40 budget decks, I don't make any money on them. This is just to make the video, just to have somebody have fun with the deck that I've made that show them that it's budget, that you can still have fun and still win. A lot of places out there sell, like, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a website out there that sells a sliver deck for, I think it was $210. When you put the deck into a thing that tells you, or into a site that tells you how much each card's worth, it comes up as like $40. I don't make the money. They do. I just make the stuff that's better than theirs. So, and we're at our last card. So, that was everything in the big box. I don't know what you think, but that's all usable stuff for me. I'm happy with it.
And that, my friends, was part 2 of my latest Magic Mail Monday. There were a lot more cards in this package than I had anticipated, and most of it will be quite useful for future budget deck builds. Again, I thank everyone who sent me cards and for the support. You are all wonderful people, and I hope that there are more packages to come so I can continue to make these videos for you all. I promise they will get better as I do more. One of these videos could even feature a package from you, so check the details on how you can be a part of this in the description, or rewind this video to the support section to see how. So, what did you think? Did you see anything that you're excited to see me put together in the near future? If so, let me know about it in the comments. Well, folks, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, but if you're looking for more Magic-related content to watch, please browse through my channel, as I'm sure you'll find more of my videos that you'll enjoy. Before you head off, though, please remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you can be notified when I release new content. Have a nice day, and I will see you all soon.